So let's revise motion in a straight line. The first thing that I taught you is an xt graph. Supposing position time graph is like this, which means the object is covered equal distance in equal interval of time, which is known as a uniform motion. And supposing the xt graph is like this, the object is covering unequal distance in equal interval of time, which is non-uniform motion. So this is uniform motion, this is non-uniform motion. And I told you that when you do a slope for an xt graph, when you do a slope for an xt graph, you get velocity. A slope for an xt graph, that is opposite by adjacent, in other words, you get velocity. In other words, a child sliding down will be able to slide down smoothly, which means the slope is a constant. So then the velocity time graph here is a constant. But you cannot do a slope for this because this is a parallel to x-axis. When you do a slope for velocity time graph, you are supposed to get an acceleration. But since it's parallel to x-axis, you cannot do an opposite by adjacent for the second one. So you can't, there is no acceleration time graph for uniform motion. Non-uniform motion, you know, you can do a slope here. The slope is nothing but is also tangent. So you can do a tangent like this, like this, like this. Can you see that the slope is going on increasing? First slope is like this, then the slope is like this, then the slope becomes like this, which means the velocity is going on increasing, because the slope of xt graph is nothing but velocity. So velocity is going on uniformly increasing with time. So the velocity time graph should be like this, which is uniformly increasing with time. And when you do a slope for velocity time, you should get acceleration. And you know that the slope here, when a child is sliding down, it's going to slide down smoothly. So then acceleration time graph is always a constant. Therefore, you should know that when you move forward, that is when you velocity, you want velocity, you differentiate dx by dt. That is do a slope for xt graph. When you want acceleration, you do dv by dt. When you move from left to right, you do differentiation. So that's what it is. Okay. So next is, what did I teach you from the PDF, is differentiation of x to the power n. Okay, in physics, okay, in mathematics, differentiation of x to the power n is n into x to the power n minus 1. So differentiation of, in the physics it's not with respect to x. In mathematics it's y-axis and x-axis. So differentiation when you do is dy by dx. But in physics it will be with respect to time, right? Speed, velocity is distance by time. So then therefore it's d by dt. Like that it will be. Okay, so differentiation of a t to the power n is n t to the power n minus 1. A differentiation of t to the power 2 is 2t. Okay, just like d by dx of x to the power n is n into x to the power n minus 1. D by dx of x square is 2x. Of course, there is into dx by dx when you inside differentiation is just 1. We ignore that. Okay, so differentiation of a constant is always 0. A differentiation of a coefficient, this is not a constant, this becomes a coefficient. In that case, you should take it out and differentiate x square. It will become 2x, and so the answer will just become 4x and so on. This is a small intro on differentiation, but having said that, you can look at my PDF and learn it properly. Okay, so let me go to integration. An integration of x to the power n is x to the power n plus 1 by n plus 1. Yeah, an integration of x square is x cube by 3. An integration of x cube dx is x to the power 4 by 4 and so on. Okay, so having said that, where is integration going to come? Okay, let's see. Integration, you must learn all the integration formulas from the PDF. Okay, integration is when you have an xt graph like this. The velocity time graph will be like this. The acceleration time graph will be like this, correct? Which we already learned. If you want to find integration, another name for integration is finding an area under the graph. So if you find the area under this graph, this area will give you velocity. So you are coming in reverse. If you want to find velocity, find area under integration. Area under this acceleration graph. Sorry. So area under acceleration graph will give you velocity. Then if you want to find the displacement, the area under the velocity graph, the area under velocity graph will give you displacement. So like when you come in reverse, you should find the area. If you want displacement, you find the area under velocity time graph. You can find the area, or in other words, another name for area is using integration. You can also integrate. See, supposing, okay, let's discuss some questions that we did in class. X is equal to 18t plus 5t square is the question. They wanted velocity. You know, from xt you are going to find velocity. You're going from left to right. So you have to differentiate. So dx by dt is 18t differentiation is 18 into dt by dt is just 1 plus 5t square is 5 into t square differentiation is 2t. So it will become 10t. So this is my velocity. Suppose I want to find the acceleration. Acceleration is nothing but dv by dt. xt graph differentiate panna you get velocity time. Velocity time graph differentiation will get you acceleration. So differentiation of acceleration is dv by dt. So you got to differentiate dv by dt. What is v? Itself is so much. So you have to differentiate this. 18 differentiation itself is 0 plus a 10 into dt by dt is 1. So the answer is 10. This shows that acceleration is 10 meter per second square and it's a constant acceleration. Yeah, which is similar to this condition where there was a constant acceleration. But the velocity is still dependent on time. So they will ask you what was the velocity at a time t is equal to 2 seconds, means take the velocity formula. Substitute t as 2. So 18 plus 10 into 2 is 20. So answer is 38 meter per second. So then they will ask you what is average velocity, V average. V average is totally different. You know, I told you when I am driving from here to Siddharth's house, I will not be travelling at a uniform velocity. I have signals, I have to stop. So on an average, what velocity did I drive, Abhina? Is change in position x2 minus x1 by t2 minus t1. Okay, and you know x formula is here. Between a time, t1 is equal to 2 seconds and t2 is equal to 3 seconds. So substitute here in this formula, x is equal to 18 into 2 plus 5 into 2 square. So you get a position x at a time t is equal to 2 seconds. And position x at a time t is equal to 3 seconds means 18 into 3 plus 5 into 3 square. Those respect to, if it's x you want to find, take x formula and do it. Correct? So then you found x2 minus x1. This answers you will get. You can substitute here and divide it by 3 minus 2, t2 minus t1. Average velocity means change in position by change in time. Okay, so next is you can look at the PDF and learn. I am just shortcut I am teaching you. Everything else is there in the PDF. You understood? So let's go to next is let's go to next question. There is a question which I did, t is equal to root x plus 3. Okay, normally we will have x is equal to some in terms of t. Can you see here? The position vector, x is nothing but the position vector or displacement vector, which is in terms of time. Here t is in terms of x. I would rather change it into root x is equal to t minus 3 so that x is in terms of t. We all know differentiation of root x is 1 by 2 root x. Yeah, how do you know that? D by dx of x to the power half is half into x to the power half minus 1, which is half into x to the power minus half, which is 1 by 2 into x to the power half, which is 1 by 2 root x. So instead of doing all this, let's mug up. So then 1 by 2 root x and x inside differentiation is dx by dt is equal to t differentiation with respect to t is just 1. So dx by dt itself is 2 root 3 and dx by dt itself is velocity. So 2 root x. The velocity itself is 2 root x. So since velocity, in the question they would have given the velocity itself is 0, find what is the displacement. If velocity itself 0, displacement will also be 0. That was the next question that we discussed in class. So the next thing that I was discussing in class is all about kinematic equations. What are kinematic equation? V is equal to u plus at, s is equal to ut plus half at square and v square minus u square is equal to 2as. After this, there is special formula called SN formula, that is at the nth second how much did he travel. That formula is u plus a by 2 into 2n minus 1. These are the 4 equations of kinematics. Okay, so you have to prove these formulas using graphical method. They will ask you this question in the school. Graphical method of proving kinematic equations. Sorry about my bad handling, just a quick recap, that's all. It's not a proper video. When you look at my PDF, then go through my video, you will get clarity. Okay, let's find out V is equal to u plus at, for which the graph is like this. This is the initial velocity u. This is the final velocity v, which means it's not starting from 0, original column, it's starting from u and reaching v. And you know this distance itself is u. and
V minus U.
this whole distance is V.
V.
And so this triangle, you know, this
U.
constructed triangle, this triangle, this itself is
minus U.
V minus U, because this is U means this is also
U.
U. So this whole thing is V means this part is just V minus U.
U.
This part is time. If this is time, this is also time.
Time.
So you constructed now. These two lines are constructed lines. That is, this line and this line are constructed lines. You found it to be V minus U and this to be T. And I told you this is a velocity time graph. Velocity time graph, if you do a slope, you get acceleration. Because velocity time graph is a second graph. When you do a slope for this, you are supposed to get acceleration. So it's you know that acceleration. Okay, so then we know if we do a slope for VT graph, we will get acceleration, correct?
Next step.
Yeah, so what is the slope? What is the slope? Is opposite by adjacent, correct? This opposite side by adjacent side will be the slope of this graph, which is V minus U by T. V minus, which is itself is acceleration. Cross multiplying AT is equal to V minus U, V is equal to U plus AT. You got the first equation. Now, going to the second equation. What is S is equal to UT plus half AT square? You should get from the graph. We can do, you know, you want S. S means displacement, which means one step lower. Velocity time graph, if you find the area under the graph only, you will get displacement time graph. You come in reverse. Reverse means always area. So if you want S, which is the displacement, S here stands for not speed, displacement. You have to find the area. Area of a triangle plus area of the rectangle. So S is equal to area of triangle plus area of rectangle. Area of rectangle, correct? Area of triangle from here is half into base into height, which is half into T into V minus U. Can you see base? The triangle is here. The base is T and the height is V minus U. So we are taking this triangle and doing this half into T into T into V minus U plus area of rectangle is this is the rectangle. This is the rectangle where the area of the rectangle is length into breadth, which is T into U. So UT kadichichu. But you need half A T square. But you have some other crap here. So for which you should write A is equal to V minus U by T. Therefore, V minus U itself is AT. So instead of V minus U, you can substitute AT. So half AT square plus UT. Thus S is equal to UT plus half AT square. Next format is, if supposing you want V square minus U square is equal to 2AS, the next kinematic equation, where also you have this term called S, which stands for displacement, not speed, displacement. You know that this is a velocity time graph. You do the area, you will get the displacement. We already did area of triangle plus area of rectangle. So now you have to do area of a trapezium. So then you know that if you want to get S, area of the graph, which is area of a trapezium. Area of trapezium is half into S1 plus S2 into H. The two parallel sides into height. Sum of the two parallel sides into height. The parallel sides are, I am doing it in red color, this is one side and this is another side. And this itself is U and this itself is V, right? Can you see? So U plus V. So then parallel sides is half into U plus V. Into height itself is this parallel height. This height is nothing but T. So half into U plus V into T. But you need V square minus U square is equal to AS, but you got some other crap here, correct? How to get it is, again take the same acceleration is V minus U by T. Instead of T, you write V minus U by A. This juggling is very important. And substitute that in the place of T, half into U plus V into V minus U by A is S. 2 and A can be going there, 2AS. And this is, you can write as V plus U. U plus V can be written as V plus U into V minus U, which is V square minus U square. So V square minus U square is equal to 2AS. Thus you got the third equation of Kinematic. Next is SN formula, which is distance travelled by Siddharth in nth second, 6th second. That distance, remember, in that case it's U plus A by 2 into 2n minus 1 is the formula. So how did we get this formula? I told you, if you want nth second, not SN, is nth, sorry. is Snth second. In fact, is Snth second. There's a big difference between Sn and Snth, correct? Okay, the distance travelled in the nth second means distance travelled in n seconds minus distance travelled in n minus 1 second, correct? If you travelled n seconds, like 10 seconds and 9 seconds, then you will get the 10 seconds la ivlo duram poirukka, 9 seconds la ivlo duram poirukka, subtracted you get the distance travelled in the 9th second, exactly. You understand? So distance travelled in nth second is basically Sn minus Sn minus 1. Sn is normal formula, not Snth formula. Sn is S is equal to ut plus
half AD square.
So un plus half a n square minus un minus 1 plus half a n minus 1 the whole square. You simply solve it. You are solving this, you will get u plus a by 2 into 2n minus 1. If you want, I will show it. Can un quickly solve un plus half a n square minus, take it in, minus un plus 1, yeah, minus un plus u, yeah, minus half a n minus 1 the whole square is n square minus 2n plus 1. Now take it in. Can you see half a n square, half a n square? If you take it inside, it will get cancelled, right? So un and un also gets cancelled. This is also getting cancelled with this term. So what are you left with? U, and this goes inside, it will become plus half a n, half a 2n. So 2 and 2 also gets cancelled. Take the minus inside, minus half a. So u plus, this is 2 and 2 got cancelled. Where is it? 1 by 2 ut plus half a n minus 1 the whole square. N minus 1 the whole square, n square minus 2n plus 1. You are supposed to get u plus a by 2 into 2n minus 1, right? Yeah, what have you got here? What have we got here? U plus an minus a by 2, correct? U plus, let me take a out. I'll get a out n minus 1 by 2. Let's take an LCM. 2n minus 1 by 2. So u plus a by 2 into 2n minus 1. Just simply solve it, you will get answer. Okay. So it's what is important is the distance travelled in the nth second is different formula. Okay. So this is about it. After this, what did I teach you in the class? I'm just scrolling through the PDF. You can also do that. Okay. I'm teaching you integration, right? I'm saying wherever integration க்கு இன்னொரு பேர் வந்து ஏரியா அப்படிங்கிறேன். எதுக்கு ஏரியா கண்டுபிடிக்கணும், எதுக்கு இன்டகிரேட் பண்ணணும்? You know area of rectangle plus area of a triangle. Then why should you even integrate? See, if it's a graph like this, then it's area of a triangle plus area of a rectangle. If it's a graph like this, where if you have to calculate the area here, it is not a triangle or a rectangle. That is when integration is required. Otherwise, you can directly put whether it's a trapezium or a triangle or a rectangle. But when it is a curve like this, you need integration. What is the meaning of integration? Is supposing you have a curve, you're going to find an area under the curve. That is what is called integration. For which they will divide this, they will take a small rectangle of width dx. Supposing this x-axis, mathematics, this x-axis and this y-axis, they will take a kutti rectangle of width dx. And the area of this rectangle is y into dx. Some random y coordinate into dx will be the area of this kutti rectangle. Area of this rectangle is y into dx. Take this y into dx and integrate it from where the curve starts and where the curve ends. Supposing it starts with a and ends with b, integrate it from a to b. It later I'll teach you in detail, but you please understand that why we really need to learn integration. It means it is not a straight line. It is
B to A. What is
B to, okay, the curve can start from where to where, you don't know, right? The curve need not start from here. It can be any curve which starts from here to here. So this point is x is equal to A. This point may be x is equal to B. To find the area under this, they are dividing this into kutti rectangle, wherein one kutti rectangle's area width is dx and height is y. They are taking that one rectangle and they integrating it from A to B. Can you see? You can expand it like this, it gets the dx gets widened from a to b. That's the meaning in integration. However, you don't have to know it now, it's only an introduction, just for knowledge. Okay, so next is sums that we did. What are the sums? A plane starts from rest with an acceleration of 3 meter per second square. I am just reading it from the PDF. You can look at you can keep a PDF on your laptop and go through this video side by side on another mobile or something, so you can parallelly listen. It's going according to the PDF that I have sent you. Plane starts from rest, which means initial velocity is 0 with an acceleration of 3 meter per second square. It runs for a time of 35 seconds before taking off. You know, flight goes and then only takes off, right? Yeah. So what is the velocity at the takeoff? Which means they are asking final velocity. You know, v is equal to u plus at. So it's a horizontal motion, there is no gravity. Only when vertical upwards and downwards, there is gravity. So v itself is what you need to find. U is 0. Acceleration is 3 meter per second square, 35. Therefore, it's 70 meter per second. Correct? No, 35 into 5 is not 70. It's 105 meter per second. Okay, so that's about it. So like this, there are sums that we're going to discuss now, which is a revision. A body covers 12 meters. A body covers 12 meters in 2 seconds. Second to second, not 2 seconds. 2 seconds means S2. This is S second. Correct?
Yes.
Which is, what is the formula? U plus A by 2 into 2n minus 1, where n is 4, so 4 minus 1. And the body, does it starts from rest? Does it say a body covers 12 meters? So it doesn't say it starts from rest. So I can't put U as 0. I can't put U as 0. But I can say that it is covering 20 meters. So this second is traveling, is given in the question. A body covers 12 meters in body covers 12 meters in the second and 20 meters in the fourth second. So U plus A by 2 into 4 2s are 8 minus 1. Correct?
Okay.
With these two, you can form one equation with U and A. You will get a linear equation.
Yes.
And you can solve it and get the value of U and A. So then you know how to solve it. I don't have to do it, right? Or you want me to do it? Let's do it here. 12 is equal to U plus A 2 and 3. And this is 20 is equal to U plus 7A by 2. Correct? Then you can cross multiply.
Ma'am, this cut like
What?
But it is simple.
You want me to solve it here itself? Yeah, you can also do that. You can also solve that so that you can get directly cancelled, and you can also do that. How your brain works for calculation, it's up to you. So once you do that and you find the value of A, and they found the acceleration to be 4 meter per second square and the velocity, initial velocity to be 6 meter per second. U aim kadichirum. Adukapram they are asking in the question, go back to the question, how much distance will it cover in 4 seconds after the 5th second? See, this will not be the exact question that comes for your exam.
Okay.
But as you practice this, you will be able to you'll be ready to face some other questions which is tough.
Okay.
4 seconds after the 5th second means what? 4 seconds, na? 9th second. 4 seconds after the 5th second means 9th second. This distance they are asking. Means you should do S9 and S5 and subtract. You can't use this, you have to use UT plus half AT square.
UT plus half
Why?
AT square.
Because you have to find the distance travelled by him till the 9th second completely, not exactly at the 9th second. Full 9th second, S9 minus S5, which is what will give you the distance travelled by him between the 5th second and the 9th second. That is 4 seconds after the 5 seconds. How much is he travelling? You understand? So it's the UT plus half AT square, where T bala 9. This is also 9 square minus UT plus half AT square. Here T bala 5. Yeah, put a bracket here, and you know what is U and A, substitute back, so you get the distance that you would have travelled in those 4 seconds. Are you clear?
Yes,
Next, the question that I was doing that day is the ball thrown upward. Now comes the ball thrown up. Supposing a ball is thrown up from the top of the tower, remember, the ball will be thrown from the top of the tower. It eventually will fall down. Totally the time taken for it to fall is 6 seconds. Complete time itself 6 seconds. The height of the tower is h. We have to find the height of the tower. When a ball is thrown up, you know there will be initial velocity. U is 19.6 meter per second. We know that the final velocity is always 0. That is why it's dropping down. However, to find the height of the tower is nothing but displacement here, because where did the ball start? The ball started here. Where did the ball end? Here. The displacement is just a change in the position, correct, which is S is equal to ut plus half at square, which is displacement, not distance. So you don't have to worry about this going up and coming down and all. You just have to find the difference in the x2 minus x1 initial position, which itself is height, and u itself is 19.6. The total time taken is 6 seconds plus half into gravity. In which direction did you put the ball in? Up, correct?
Yes.
And you wrote u as positive, correct? So the gravity which is pulling it down has to be negative. When the ball is thrown up, if you are going to take that as positive, then the gravity should be taken as negative, minus 9.8 or 10, whatever it is, into 6 square. With this itself, I can find what is the height of the tower. I would have done this sum C. Okay, I would have done this sum. Actually speaking, many children do this sum very differently. They forget that S is equal to ut plus half at square, where S is the displacement ne மறந்துருவாங்க. அப்படி மறந்துட்டேனா, you know the initial velocity is 19.6, final velocity is 0. With this you can find the time of ascent. And the time of ascent will be equal to time of descent. In the time same. 6 seconds la இந்த ரெண்டு டைம் add பண்ணிக்கும். You double it and subtract it from 6. That will give you the time for this.
Yes.
And then you have to find the velocity at this point.
Yes. Okay.
The velocity at this point, the initial velocity is 0 and you have to find v is equal to u plus at again.
Yes.
It's very it gets complicated, right? But those are also ways to do. Yeah?
Yes.
So then, however, we are not proceeding in that method. So let's go to next question. A ball is thrown up from the multi-storied building. Okay, next question is ball is again thrown from a multi-storied building at a speed of 20 meter per second. The height of the point where the ball is thrown is 25 meters. Oh, the height from which we are throwing it is 25 meters, which is height of the building has been given. Height of the building has been given. Initial velocity is also given. A ball is thrown upward with an initial speed of 20 meter per second from the top of multi-story building. The height of the point from where the ball is thrown is 25 meter from the ground. How high will the ball rise? This is 25 meter. How high will the ball rise? This distance you need. Correct? You need this distance, this height. This is initial velocity, this is final velocity. You can use the formula V, this is 0. V square minus u square is equal to 2a.
Yes.
S you can use. Where b square is 0. Minus 20 the whole square. Gravity, for ball going up, gravity will be negative. So minus 2 into 10 into S, which is height. Yeah, this is 400. Minus get cancel. 400 is equal to 20 h. So h is equal to 20. So you found h to be 20. So total height from the ground therefore will be 45 now. Correct. So how high will it rise from the ground? So therefore you have to add it and write it as 45. Next, how long will it take before the ball hits the ground? So now the ball is going to hit the ground. How long will it take? You know the total distance is 45. You know the initial velocity here in this downward journey is 0. So you know this is 45. You know this is u. Yeah, this is u, which is 0. So what can we use? Can you use S is equal to ut plus half at square? How long? You get ut is 0 because u is 0. This ut itself becomes 0. Yeah, S is nothing but 45. And is the ball in this case, in this journey, the ball is coming down. So gravity is also down. So no need for negative sign. So is equal to half into 10 into t square. This and this gets cancelled. This becomes 9 is equal to t square. T is equal to plus or minus 3. Negative sign is not possible. So 3 seconds. Correct? Oh no, 5 seconds. Why? How long does it take? Okay. S is equal to ut plus half at square. S is displacement. You are not supposed to take it as 45 because 45 is not the displacement. Only 25 is the displacement. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
I am making a mistake here. Only 25 is the displacement. S is not distance, is 25. So t is equal to 5. You can also make this blunder. So never make this blunder. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
What you didn't understand? The most important thing is S in the formula is displacement and not distance. Forgetfully, I am every time taking SS 45. No, displacement is change in position,
Yes.
which is only from here to here, which is only 25. So thus you get t is equal to 5 seconds. I hope everybody is clear with this. So let's go to next question. Next question is draw a trajectory. Trajectory, see, you know how it is. From this building he is throwing and it's coming like this. Draw a trajectory means they are asking you to do a graph. A ball, see, so I can do a speed time graph or a velocity time graph. If I do a velocity time graph, I have to extend it because velocity can be negative. Speed time cannot be negative. This is a ball which is getting thrown from here with the velocity, reaches up and becomes, velocity becomes 0, which means higher velocity to lower velocity. Velocity becomes 0. And then it goes back and then goes further because it goes till here and then the further goes down, right? But it is a velocity time graph. It will go like this, go negative and further go down. So that is the trajectory, or what do you say, graph for it. Okay. So now from the helicopter, food particle will be released. Remember, from a helicopter there will be food particle, but the helicopter will be already raising at a speed of 2 meters per second. So initial velocity of the pocket cannot be taken as 0. இப்படி போடுறாங்க அதனால 0 நினச்சிக்க முடியாது because already is up, so it's going along with it. So it is initially having an upward velocity of 2 meters per second and then eventually it's falling down.
So it's minus.
Which is minus 2 meters per second. U is equal to minus 2 meters per
But
second.
why do you tell us it's going up then?
Huh?
Why do you say it's going up?
Because the helicopter is moving upward.
Okay.
So obviously when see you
Who
go,
said that a helicopter is going upwards?
it's given in the question, the food packet is released from helicopter which is rising steadily at 2 meters, which is rising steadily at 2 meters per second. So since there's an upward movement initially what is given, eventually it's falling due to gravity. U is also same velocity. The velocity of the helicopter will be same as velocity of the food packet. But eventually it's going to come down, so minus 2 meters per second. But the gravity will be positive 10 plus 10 because the gravity is already acting down. But the velocity is acting up. Yes or no? So if so then what are you going to do? What is the question? What is the velocity of the packet? What is the after 2 seconds? After 2 seconds what is the velocity? So time is equal to 2. Initial velocity is minus 2. So you know v is equal to u plus at. After 2 seconds means put time as 2. Gravity as 10, positive 10. But this is minus 2. So then you get minus 2 plus 20, which is 18 meters per second is the velocity with which the packet is going to get after 2 seconds. Yeah. Next, how far is it below the helicopter? How far is it below the helicopter? Oh, the S. You know the final velocity now. You know the initial velocity is this. How far is it? Means v square minus u square is equal to 2a s. This s is what they are asking. You know the initial velocity, you are squaring, right? Negative also is going to become positive. So it's 18 square minus 2 square is equal to 2 into 10 into s. So you can find what will be the, how far below the helicopter will the food packet be, correct? 18 minus 2 square is equal to 2 into 10 into s. Are you clear? Then I taught you different types of graphs. What are the different types of graphs I taught you? Is a graph, a distance time graph. I sometimes put x, sometimes I put d. You can also keep xt graph. If it's like this, it means the body is not moving. Body is not moving, it's stationary. Body remains stationary. If xt graph is like this, the body is covering equal distance in equal interval of time, uniform motion, correct? If a body, if the distance time graph is like this, non-uniform motions covering unequal distance in equal interval of time. But one thing you can note down here, the velocity keeps on increasing. Whereas if you do a xt graph like this, the velocity is going to keep on decreasing. You understand? Because I am doing a slope and seeing. So this is a decelerating graph and this is an accelerating graph. Okay, this is xt graph. What happens when the distance time graph is like this? Is not possible. At one time it cannot be in different positions. Next graph that I taught you is this. What happens to this graph? A distance time graph which is like this. It's not, as the time increases, the distance only increases. It's xt graph, right? Xt graph. The position only must increase. So, next is, okay. Supposing they give you an xt graph like this, x can be negative, right? Position vector can be negative. Supposing they give you a graph like this, what does this signify? It's like I am standing here, the ball is from forward, it's crossing me and going backward. This is for that graph, xt graph. This graph indicates that a ball which is crossing the reference point and going back in reverse. Okay, so this is what is xt graph. And you know that here this is when you do slope for this side, do a slope, it's decreasing. Do you know that this is negative slope? So this is you know that this is negative slope. Yeah, so the velocity will be negative. Here the velocity is negative. Here if you do a slope, it will still be negative only. It will still be the velocity in both the cases. When you draw in physics, this is negative, this is positive. The fact that it's like this shows that the slope is negative, and so the velocity will also be negative. So in physics this is increasing and this is decreasing. Okay, so then next this is all about position time graph. Let's do a velocity graph. Okay, a velocity time graph is like this. Supposing you have a velocity time graph which is like this. You know, this shows that when a child is slide down, it will go smooth. So acceleration is constant. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Acceleration will always be a constant. But it's negative acceleration. This graph itself is negative, I told you. This graph is positive. So then it's negative acceleration, correct?
Yes.
It's called negative acceleration. So then this is experiencing a negative acceleration. Where have we come across negative acceleration? You know, when a ball is thrown up, we take acceleration due to gravity as negative. So there is a case of negative acceleration which you have seen, correct? So it makes sense. Can you see the velocity is also coming down, which refers to a ball thrown up. When a ball is thrown up, velocity gets 0 from maximum value to 0, and so there is a negative acceleration. We take g to be negative. Excellent, correct? Then there's one more graph which I did, which is a velocity time graph, where graph was like this. It was similar to this position time graph, but this I compared with a child playing here. The ball is coming in front of him, crossing him and going backward, correct? But for this, it means the ball thrown up is reaching a velocity 0 and again coming back. That's what it is. This is for a ball thrown up and down, correct? The lowest, this velocity 0 stands for the highest point. And this is the lowest point from which we are throwing, because there will be maximum velocity you have to give. Are you clear with this? So next is, supposing you have a velocity time graph which is like this. Can you see it has got 3 regions, 1, 2 and 3, and this is a velocity time graph. If you find the area, what will I get? If I do area, what will I get? I'm integrating it. I am supposed to get one step below, which is position. I'll get the displacement. Supposing they ask me displacement, area 1 minus area 2 plus area 3, because it's a displacement. Displacement is a vector. You have to take negatives as negatives, positives as positive. Whereas they ask you distance, area 1 plus area 2 plus area 3. So in numerical, they'll give you these values. You have to do. It won't be exactly like this. Okay. So from the top of the tower, a ball falls freely under gravity. From the top of the tower, one ball is falling freely under gravity. Another ball will be thrown up. Yesterday I was teaching. One ball is thrown down, another ball is thrown up with the same velocity. Okay, this one velocity will be 0, obviously. This one is getting thrown up with a velocity of 50 meter per second. Obviously, throw up you need initial velocity. But throw something down, you don't need any initial velocity. This has got initial velocity 0. So we are going to draw a graph for it. Okay, for which you should first tabulate. Okay, you should write S is equal to ut plus half at square for downward motion, for the ball which is thrown down. And for a ball which is thrown up, also S is equal to ut plus half at square. Like that you should write. And then start tabulating. Okay, in this, for ball thrown down, u itself is 0. So UTA kadayadu.
U is 0. Yeah.
Thrown down, u is 0. So this is S is equal to half a t square only. But this is u is 50t plus half a t square. And you know, A is, for a ball thrown down, A is g. A is 10 plus 10. For a ball thrown down,
10. A is
plus 10. For a ball thrown up, it's minus 10. For a ball thrown down, the gravity is also down.
Yes, ma'am.
Both of them are in the same direction. 10, gravity is 9.8 or 10. It's always a constant. Depending on the question, I will write it as 9.8 or 10, correct? Here it's 50t minus half a t square, half 10t square. Why? Because this is for upward motion. When a ball is thrown up, gravity has to be negative. So minus half into 10 into t square. Like that I write clearly, okay. Minus half 10 t square. This will be half plus half 10 t square. Like this you write. Now you put one value for t and find the value. T is equal to 1 second. When t is 1, what will be s? What will be s? 1 means 5.
This is equal to, okay.
In the t is 1 means it's 50
T is minus
minus 5, 45.
45.
Like that you have to put one coordinate and find the values to put a graph, okay. When t is equal to 2, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
When t is equal to 2, put on that t
Yes,
here,
I get it, okay.
t square is 4.
Okay.
2 and 4 get cancelled as 2, so you get 20.
I got it, okay.
Idla put t is equal, now put t is equal to, idla you put t is equal to 2. It will be
Yes,
100 minus
It's 100 minus.
half into 10 into 20, 2 square which is 4. So it will be 20, so it will be 80.
Wait.
So this will be 80. So like this, this is all displacement, right? S, displacement. You have to do an ST graph. You have to do a displacement time graph. Okay, for which you should mark the scale which is convenient for both the graphs. Okay, so look at this. And the x-axis I am putting, because timing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 only I am going to put. So this is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's all. But displacement ranges 5 arc, 45, 80, big values. So I'll write it as 25, 50. I need a scale which is suitable for drawing both the graphs.
Both the graphs.
So 25, 50, 75, 100, 125, yeah,
That is fine.
and minus 25, because for certain values, okay, because displacement can also become negative, correct? Okay, like this you draw. Put t is equal to 3 down. What will you get? T is equal to 3, you get 45 here meters, okay. Put t is equal to 3 here, 3 3s are 9, become 90, so 45. This is 3, 150 minus 45, 105, 105 meters, like this you are getting, okay. Now you have to plot the graph, which means the coordinates is 1, 5.
Okay.
x1, t1 and the displacement is 5. So 1, 5. 1 is here, 5 will be here, 25 kid irkom. 1, 5. Then 2, 20. 2 inga irka, 20 inga irkom, konja inga, correcta? Konja 25 konja kittu 2. 3, 45. 3 modu 45. 45 will also be here. Can you see the graph is the graph is going like this. Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
I think I made a mistake in okay, well, let's see. This is a downward motion. In downward motion, okay, what is that I've drawn? Shouldn't it be like this?
No, down.
Why should it be downward? Maybe I've made a mistake in the PDF. I'm just trying to think. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
this is displacement. Where will the displacement be negative and where will the displacement be positive? Okay, it's very simple. If I'm going to take one displacement as the one which is thrown down as positive, obviously the one that is thrown up will be negative. So one is up, another. So it depends on. So in this I have taken it to be upward motion as positive, downward motion as negative. It depends, correct? So I am doing the opposite of it here. So this is what is my downward motion, correct? And the upward motion will be here. When time is 1, it's 45. When time is 1, it will be 45, correct? So then that graph will come like this probably. So this is also possible, this is also possible. It's all perspective only, correct? Whichever you are taking it as positive or negative, you don't know which one displacement, whichever you are going to take positive and negative. If you are going to consider the upward motion as positive, then the downward motion will be negative and vice versa. This question will not come for any of your exam, but you should know how to plot a graph for different values. You understood how to plot a graph now? That's all the sum is important for, it's not for anything else, okay? So next is a distance frame, okay, 2 trains. They have given a graph like this. If you remember, the 2 graphs have been, this is a very important question. These kind of questions will come in the exam. It is 0, this is 50, this is 100, this is 150, there is 1, 2 and 3, and this graph is given, this is A. and they are saying from here to here this is B, and they exactly meet at 2. Okay, you have to draw it in such a way that they meet at 2. This is the graph. Okay, the fact that, can you see that this is actually a distance time graph, which shows that B is already ahead of A. Can you see B is already ahead? How many kilometers? 100.
100 kilometers.
So who is already ahead? When you starting point, B is already ahead of A by 100 units. Correct?
Okay.
Now second question, who do you think is traveling faster? Can you see a distance time graph? When you do a slope, you will get velocity.
Okay.
The slope, which slope is greater?
N.
A is greater. A is ரொம்ப steep. B is not so steep. So B has a greater slope. B has a greater slope. So A has a greater slope. A has a greater slope. So A travels faster than
B.
Correct? Now what is the speed of A and speed of B? If you want to find the speed of A, you have to do slope, which is opposite by adjacent. A engiradhu idha OA. You can't do opposite by adjacent here because you don't know the exact where it ends. So spot the point where you know where it ends. Can you take, this is also slope, right? In the slope, idu fullum eduthitta enna, half eduthitta enna. Can you see opposite by adjacent will be 2. What is this? Opposite, how many is here? How many units are there? Y coordinate? 100 by 2.
2.
So then for the velocity of A is 100 by 2, which is 50 meter per second.
Opposite by adjacent.
Opposite by adjacent, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it 100 by 2?
This one is 100 by 2.
100 by 2. Why did I put 150 by 2? Oh, I think I've drawn it wrongly. There is actually 100 units. The graph is like this, okay? This is 0. There is a 50 here. There's a 100 here. There's a 150 here.
Okay.
Oh, but even then it's not.
No, mom. It's because 100 is coming from there, but
No, 150 is here
the
only.
point is in 150, mom. The point is in 150.
Oh, okay. The point is definitely in 150.
Yes, ma'am.
And there is a
Yes,
100 here.
Yes, ma'am.
And there is a 50 somewhere in middle. Okay, so you know the corresponding point here is only 150. So it's 150 by 2, so 75. புரியுதா தப்பா வரைஞ்சிட்டேன் கிராஃப் PDF செக் பண்ணிக்கோ பட் யூ ஷுட் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் இங்கே தான் யூ ஹேட் அ ப்ராப்ளம் ரைட் சித்தார்த் டு ஃபைண்ட் த ஸ்லோப் ஆஃப் OA you can also find the slope of just this part because this is also a part of that slope which is opposite by adjacent. In the opposite is 150 by this is 2, so 150 by 2 is 75 meter per second. Are you clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Suppose you want to find the slope of B.
Slope
Okay,
of B,
just go to B. This is OB, right? This is the slope.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah? You can take this part alone. Yeah, just half this part and do opposite by adjacent. And opposite la enna irukku nu ketta
We have
50.
50.
which is what you never used to grasp. Ipo puriyudha?
Yes, ma'am.
50 by 2. So 50 by 2, the velocity of B will be 50 by 2, 25 meter per second. Now did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
This is where your problem was, right?
Yes, ma'am.
I knew you had, even when I was explaining yesterday, you were like feeling lost.
Yes, ma'am.
That's why I made you come here. Now you will be clear, right? So next is the world's most important question. Every question paper, every school question paper will have this question, where it is a speed time graph. Okay, where the graph is like this, like this, like this, like this. Okay, so this is O, this is A, this is B, this is C, and this is D. Okay, and this is speed time graph. They have given this to be 20. They have given this to be 50. They have given this to be 0.50, a point where A is corresponding, where B is corresponding is 0.75, and this itself is 1, and this itself is 2. This is a graph. This is a speed time graph, Siddharth.
Yes, ma'am.
If you want to find acceleration, if you what is the next stage? Velocity. Speed time graph for next stage is?
Speed time graph is
Next thing is velocity.
Velocity, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
No, I'm blabbering. Speed time graph next stage is acceleration.
Acceleration.
Sorry guys. Speed time graph for the next stage. So which means next stage means differentiation.
Differentiation.
If you do a slope for this, you will get.
We're integrating here.
No, we're not at. See, with two things. One is you can integrate, and you can also do a slope.
Slope.
If you do a slope in a speed time graph, you will get acceleration.
In slope, we can't differentiate.
Slope means differentiation.
Okay.
Slope itself means differentiation. Here you can't differentiate. No, this is not a numerical.
Numerical, yes.
You have to actually do dy by
dx
or opposite by adjacent.
Yeah.
You have to note down what is the change in y-axis by change in x-axis. It's a graph, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So this doing a slope gives you acceleration. If you integrate, it will give you velocity time graph. Integrate panna, you will get distance. If speed time graph, you will get distance, not displacement.
Okay.
You can do two
Yes,
things.
ma'am. Here
When they give you
is it-
graph sums,
Yes, ma'am.
you can either integrate or you can
Integrate or
find slope. Or, that is, if you integrate now, finding area.
Yes, ma'am.
If you find area, you will get distance. If you do slope, you will get acceleration.
Acceleration.
Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Speed time graph, you get slope. Which one has the greatest slope? As soon as you see itself, you know that this is very
This one has
steep.
the-
This is also slanting. Only this is very. BC has the highest slope. And what is the slope? It's opposite by adjacent. It's actually differentiation, but we can't differentiate in graph. So we are doing opposite by adjacent. What is an opposite? 50 minus 20 is 30.
30.
What is an adjacent? 1 minus 0.5, which is 0.25. So you do 30 by 0.25, you will get acceleration. Correct?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Your problem is sorted?
Yes, ma'am.
Which is the maximum acceleration. Why? Because this is where the maximum velocity is. Wherever there is maximum velocity only, you will have maximum acceleration.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
The slope here only will be steep, no?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's why this is maximum acceleration. Are you guys clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, supposing you want to find the distance traveled during with maximum acceleration, you have to find the area under this graph, which is area of a trapezium, which is half into S1 plus half into S1 plus S2 into H. Will give you the area under the graph, which will give you the distance traveled during this maximum acceleration. You understand? What if they ask you, what is the distance traveled during 0 to 0.5 seconds? Tell me. Distance traveled during 0 to 0.5 seconds will be?
0.0 to 0.25, ma'am. Or we can find the slope, ma'am.
Distance. This is a speed time graph.
Speed angle. Yes,
You want the distance.
Distance.
So you have to find the area, this
Area.
area,
Yes, ma'am.
which is what is it? Half into base into
Base into
height.
height.
In this case, half into base into height. This is a trapezium,
Yes, ma'am.
whereas this is a triangle. Depending on the shape, you have to find the area.
Trapezium here first we did area of triangle plus rectangle.
You can also do that, or you can directly do area of a
Trapezium.
trapezium, which is half into S1 plus S2 into H.
What is this one here?
I told you this is S1.
S2?
This is S2, two parallel sides, and this is your
Fine.
height. This is the time gap. You understand? So like this, you must go through the PDF and go through the video. Become very clear. Okay. Next is drunkard sum. I'm sure drunkard sum everybody understood. Should I do the drunkard sum?
You also can do it.
You don't need, right? You want one more?
You want to.
Once more. Okay. Drunkard, actually he walks, every step he takes it's 1 meter. He walks 5 steps backwards and 5 steps forward and 3 steps backward. So it's like I will draw this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13th step there's a pit. So these are the steps he is going to take. Okay. So you know that as he walks 5 steps forward, which is 1, 2, 3. Okay, let me draw you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 steps backward, he'll reach here.
Okay.
Again 5 steps forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I've drawn wrongly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Is it correct now?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So from here he is going to walk again, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, let's say back 1, 2, 3, correct?
Yes.
Now again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, he is fallen into the pit. So basically he is not travelling back here. Here he is travelling 2 steps, which is 2 meters. Here he is travelling actually displacement. He is eventually covering only 2 steps.
Okay.
2 steps. But how much time will it take to cover 2 steps? It's 5, coming back 3, 8 seconds. 8 steps takes 1 second. So 8 seconds to cover 2 steps. 8 seconds here also. 8 seconds here also. 8 seconds here also. 8 fours are 32. Plus from here onwards 1 second plus 1 second plus 1 second plus 1 second plus 1 second. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 32 plus 5 is 37th second he falls into the pit. That solves the question. Are you clear? They'll ask you to do a graph for this. This is where you're going to have a problem. To do a graph is very, very difficult, correct? Let me do a graph and show you. This next graph, where this is the time. Every 1 second is walking, right? So we can't put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So instead we'll put 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. இன்னும் நிறைய போடணும்டா. Let's start from here. இது time. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32 வரைக்கும் போடலாம். Okay, இங்கே வந்து I need again 2, 4, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. எதுக்குன்னா how do I know I should do till here? Can you see it takes totally 37 seconds. So I need to continue also 34, 36 and then 37. I don't have space, I can't rub it again, so I'm leaving it like that. Purida? And you know the distance every time he travels 2 steps forward. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah? 12, 14. How to plot this graph? At the beginning, he started here. Okay, it's 0 and 0. No steps. Okay, 0, 0. Then he's going 5 steps forward. He's going 5 steps forward, covering 5 steps.
Okay.
5 seconds la 5 steps cover pandra. Then he's coming backward, right?
No, wait. First one is
இது நல்ல உத்து கவனிச்சா தான் புரியும். இல்லைன்னா எனக்கே நான் வாயை கொண்டுருவேன். 0, 0 ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிட்டான். அப்புறம் in 5 seconds he has covered 5 steps.
5 steps.
கரெக்டா? அப்புறம் he's coming back. He's coming back. 3 steps is coming back, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Total time is now 8 seconds.
Yes.
Time is now become 8 seconds.
8 seconds.
But he is now back in position 2.
2, yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
புரியுது. இந்த இடம் நான் போடுறது ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்ட்ரா. திருப்பி போடுறேன்.
புரியுது.
0ல இருக்கும்போது 0ல இருக்கான். அப்புறம் 5 ஸ்டெப்ஸ் முன்னாடி போறான் 5 செகண்ட்ஸ்ல. So 5 செகண்ட்ஸ்ல 5 ஸ்டெப்ஸ் முன்னாடி போறான். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் x கோஆர்டினேட் இஸ் டைம். y கோஆர்டினேட் ஸ்டெப்ஸ். கரெக்ட்டா? 5 செகண்ட்ஸ்ல 5 ஸ்டெப்ஸ் போய்ட்டான். அடுத்தது 8 செகண்ட்ஸ்ல 2k வந்துட்டான். கரெக்ட்டா? அதுக்கப்புறம் திருப்பி 5 செகண்ட்ஸ் ஆட் பண்ணு. 13 செகண்ட்ஸ். 13 செகண்ட்ஸ்ல 5 + 2 7க்கு போய்ட்டான். அதுக்கப்புறம் திருப்பியும்
5 ஆட் பண்ணி திருப்பி 3 செப்பரேட் பண்ணாங்கல்ல.
இப்போ திருப்பி வர போறான். இப்போ 3 திருப்பி வரும்போது இங்க 4 ஆயிடும். ஆனா இங்க என்ன ஆகும்? 13 will become 3 steps backward, so it will become 16. The time will keep on increasing. புரியுதா? 13, 7, 16, 4 ரொம்ப காம்ப்ளெக்ஸ். Time increases, steps decreases. Step increases and decreases. So again இங்க என்ன அது டைம். நெக்ஸ்ட் என்ன பண்ண மறந்து போயிட்டேனே. We did what? He came back. Now he has to walk forward. 5 seconds. 16, 5 is 21. But he has to walk forward 5. So 9. Next is he has to walk backward. 9 minus 3 is 6. So can you see everywhere? Okay, this is 2, this is 4, this is 6. Yeah? But this he would have taken extra more some 24 seconds. Next Siddharth solla.
Next one is 20.
He's walked backward, right? Now he's got to walk forward 5 seconds. Add 5 to the time.
29 seconds.
29.
And then again
Walk.
Add 6.
Walk forward, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Walk forward means 6 plus 5, 11. Now walk backward.
And again 29.
29?
29
plus 3. Walking backward is 3 seconds.
29, yes, ma'am. 32.
இங்கே ஏதோ தப்பு பண்ணிட்டேனே. இது வந்து வாக்கிங் ஃபார்வர்ட், இது வாக்கிங் பேக்வர்ட் 3 தான். வாக்கிங் பேக்வர்ட் 20. 32. But walking backward will be
11.
minus 3.
No, ma'am. Why should we?
8.
Why again?
walking backward. No, this is walking backward, right?
But, okay, then I was this is okay.
Adan எழுதிக்கோ. இது forward, இது வந்து origin. First வந்து forward, then backward, forward, backward. இல்லைன்னா ரொம்ப கஷ்டம். இப்படி நீ பண்ணி அப்புறம் நீங்கள் கிராஃபில் போடணும். 0,0 is here. 5,5 இங்கே வாங்க. 5,5 எங்கே இருக்கும்? இங்கே 5 இருக்கா? இங்கே 5 இருக்கா? You should draw the graph like this. 5, next 8,2. Next is 8,2. Where is 8? Here. Where is 2? Here. So graph will be like this, 8,2. Next 13,7. Where is 13? Here. 7 here. 13,7. Yeah? புரிஞ்சுதா? Next done. 16,4. 16 is here. 4 is here. So it's going to come down. Next 21,9. 21 is here. 9 is after 8. Yeah? So it's go like it has to go slightly like a ladder. Can you see? This zigzag. Yeah? Next 24,6. 24 is here. 6 will be here. Yeah, so it will be like this. Yeah. Next 29,11. 29 is here. 11 will be there. So it will be like that. You have to continue like that. This graph will compulsorily come in for every school. And if you don't know to plot like this, it's very difficult. You're very clear. I hope Sid this also clear. Okay, so then next is on
this
two
this level one, some you need to do. So
entrance exam sum. I just get to know na why you're going to write entrance, right? You see, one second. Okay, so we are learning this entrance exam question because we are all going for entrance exam. Yeah. So you have a car A which is traveling at a speed of 36 km per hour, which is going like this. A car C and a car B is approaching in opposite direction, which means this is coming with a speed of 56 km per hour. This is coming with a speed of 54 km. Both of them are approaching at the same speed, and both of them are at the same distance of 1 km away. Okay, so you know they are 1 km away. First of all, you cannot have the distance speed in km per hour. You change it to meter per second. So changing 54 into 5 by 18 is 18 3s are so 15 meter per second. It's 36 into 5 by 18, 18 2s are so 10 meter per second. So 54 into again 15 meter per second. Yeah. So you know this is 15 meter, 10 meters, and this is 15 meters. But the thing is, this is minus 15 because it's coming to the left. If you're going to take what is traveling to the right as plus 15, obviously what is traveling to the right will be minus 15. That's the only thing. This is also plus 10. So this velocity is plus 15. This velocity is plus 10, and this velocity is minus 15 meter per second. Are you clear? Now, when both objects are moving, we need relative velocity. So what is the relative velocity of A with respect to C? VAC is generally VA minus VC, which is what is VA is 10 minus of minus 15 will be 25. That will be the relative velocity of A with respect to C. What will be the relative velocity of A with respect to B? Is VA minus VB. What is VA? VA is 10. What is VB? Is minus 54. Yeah. So then minus 54, 15, sorry, meter per second. So it is minus 5 meter per second. So VA minus VB is minus 5 meter per second. I wrote it as 5. Oh, VBA. B with respect to A and AC. This is also CA. Actually speaking, one mistake I have done here. Okay, it's better for us to avoid negative sign. We'll do what is VCA and what is VBA. VBA is VB minus VA. VCA is VC minus VA. Okay? What is VB da? 15. VA is, so it becomes 5. The negative sign is not there. So I'm safe like this. VCA is VC minus VA. VC is minus 15 plus 10. This relative velocity happens to be the minus of VC minus VA VC is minus 15, minus VA is 10, so minus 25. So then therefore they are approaching, then it will appear to be higher. When they go in same direction, it appear to be lesser. Same direction. So it makes sense, right? 5 meter per second is the relative velocity B with respect to A. C with respect to A is minus 25 meter per second. So then you calculated this velocities, and distance is 1 kilometer. Take this one. Distance and velocity. Distance is 1 kilometer, which is 1000 meters. Which is 1000 meters. So you can find the time taken, which is 1000 by 25. Velocity is distance by time. Time is equal to distance by velocity. It's 25. 25 4s are 100, so 40 seconds is the time taken for this. If it has to meet with an accident, this should also take exactly 40 seconds. So the time for this is 40 seconds if it has to meet with an accident. And the velocity is 5 meter per second. Yeah. So with this you can find what is the acceleration. Distance S is equal to 1 kilometer or 1000 meters. So put S is equal to ut plus half at square. S itself is 1000 is equal to relative velocity is 5 meter per second into t is this 40 plus half into a into 40 the whole square, with which you find this acceleration. You get this acceleration. This car will meet with an accident if it comes with this acceleration. So it has to travel with more acceleration so that it can overtake A before
B.
C. You understand? That's the crux. You play it again in the video and you will be able to understand. Did I play it? I played it, right? It's recording. So next question. As two parallel, oh, I did so many, is it? வந்துட்டே இருக்கு. போருமாடா? You understood, no? With this you can manage and look at the other sums and learn.